Welcome into the first Climate Friday newsletter of the month of September. As we round the corner from summer into autumn, we're not done with the heat just yet, and with temperatures in the 90s in that WTOL 10-day forecast, we're going to be talking about the summertime heat and the late summer and early autumn heat, and is it related to climate change? I've got a look at that answer, plus that full 10-day forecast coming up in this week's edition of the Climate Friday newsletter. Let's get into the data here, and you can subscribe for new content each and every Friday in that Climate Friday newsletter. So what's normal as we start off the month of September? Our average high for this time of year is 82 degrees, so we still do hang on to some of that late summer warmth, but we are going to be well above average in this forecast. In fact, the long-range outlook, it is trending downright hot, not just in Toledo, but for a good portion of the United States. That bright red color shows you temperatures above average, and this weather map goes through the early to middle parts of the month of September. Hot weather is expected, especially across the Great Lakes region. Our normal high in the low 80s. We are likely to have more days that are in the 90s. So that holiday weekend forecast, the big warm up starts Saturday. We're going to climb to the upper 80s, a good 6 degrees above average. We'll be 10 degrees above average on Sunday, and Labor Day could tie or break the warmest Labor Day on record in Toledo. Right now, the hottest Labor Day on record is 94 degrees, and we are going to challenge that record with this forecast. Predicting a high of 94 degrees, the record that occurred in 1973, but also a couple other years featured a high temperature 94. We have never reached 95 on Labor Day, and if we do overperform, this year could bring us those 90s. Hot weather is expected. Again, our average high right now is 82. By the end of the 10-day, though, our average high is going to be down to 80 degrees, a sign that September is upon us. It is going to be exceptionally hot for at least the middle part of the week. Sunday all the way through Wednesday are going to bring us high temperatures in the 90s, and it's really not going to be until Thursday that we finally drop back down to the 80s. Even then, by the end of the 10-day, though, we are still going to be above average. So where do we compare to the records? In this column here, you'll see the record highs for each day this week, and you'll notice most of them are in the mid to even the upper 90s. A couple years do stand out, those 30s, 50s, 60s. A lot of these are very old records that stand for this week. Our forecast this week, we're going to get awfully close to the records Monday and Tuesday, and then by the latter half of the week, nowhere near the records. And you'll notice the warmest this week, that was a record of 99 set back in 1939. That was an exceptionally hot decade across the region. Now, looking at this entire week as a whole, this could very likely go down as the hottest first week of September on record. If you average out all of those first 7 days or first full week of September, our average this week is going to be 89 degrees, and this prolonged of a stretch of hot weather is something that we have never seen in early September in recorded history. So what's the link due to climate change, and how are things evolving and becoming different? September temperatures are getting a lot warmer. This is one of the months that has been the most changed by climate, and in the past decade alone, in Toledo, we've noticed a 2.3 degree increase in temperatures. That might not sound like much, but when you think about that just in 1 decade or 10 years, when you aggravate that over several decades, you can really start to notice some differences. Now, overall, as a whole, the fall season is getting 3 to 4 degrees warmer, and you'll notice even though there is some year-to-year variability shown by that roller coaster-like curve, the straight white line there, that shows you the overall trend line from the 1970s to 2022, and this data shows a clear uptick in fall temperatures, and that includes all of the fall months, so not just September, but also looking out towards the remainder of the fall season. So what about the entire month of September? Are we going to get close to any records as far as that is concerned? Well, we could challenge that record for the hottest Labor Day in Toledo, but we are very unlikely to be the hottest September day. That goes to 100 degrees. Yes, we have hit triple digits during the month of September, not just once, but 3 times. Yes, several 100-degree readings. Now remember, we just saw that one of 99 degrees. That was set on September 7th, but looking at those triple-digit days, no surprise that a couple of those happened in the early part of the month, as that is when September is the hottest. Now, both of those exceptional temperatures were in 1953. Imagine that, getting back-to-back triple-digit days in early September. Also, 1939, we had 2 days that month that were record-setting and near the triple digits. Fall, though, as a whole is getting warmer. Despite those old records from decades ago, fall warming is a very noticeable trend. And generally speaking on this map, the darker the color of red, the more the fall season is warmed up. So across the Midwest and the Great Lakes, we've generally warmed by 2 to 4 degrees, which is certainly noteworthy. But out across the western states, including Nevada and Arizona, some of those brighter red colors show you a warming trend that has occurred by 3.5 to even 4 or 5 degrees. In other words, the eastern U.S. has seen a little bit less of an uptick in temperatures, but the western United States, that is the area that has been the most affected. And of course, the heat in the west, no surprise with the uptick in drought and the uptick in the warmth. As far as the least affected, that likely goes to the southeast. They've still seen about a 1 to 1.5 degree uptick in temperatures, but it's certainly been a little bit less noteworthy than those western states west of the Mississippi, where temperatures have skyrocketed even more. As we head towards the month of September, yes, we are due for some hot days. It's also going to feel a little bit muggier, and we could even come close to some record temperatures. Whatever September has in store, the WTOL 11 weather team will keep you updated, and eventually we are going to round the corner and usher in some cooler conditions, but it's not going to happen for at least the next 7 to 10 days. You can subscribe at WTOL.com/email for a new Climate Friday each and every week.